Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes things are so consistent in life that you know they're going to happen no matter what. And for us in the Go Battle League, that is Jason 2890. He has hit legend again this season, as he has every season that Go Battle League has been around. But at the end of every single season in the last 10 seasons, he has ended page 1 of the leaderboard. That means you have to have a rating around 3,500 by the end of the season. A little more than that, to be honest. So when he makes a team, he sticks with it, which I really like, coming from the Hypnoscrafty world. But most of the time he's running with Bastiodon, and then he was running with Metacham while Metacham was pretty OP a few seasons back. And in the last 2 seasons, he's been playing with Dewgong. To go along with Dewgong, he's also been running Annihilape this season with an interesting moveset. So he's running Counter, Close Combat, and Night Slash. Now he was running Annihilape in the front with Bastiodon as the closer and a safe swap as Dewgong in a semi-ABB comp, which is really interesting because most of the time he's not really running an ABB comp. I know that for the last week, he did switch that up, or maybe it's the last just few days. He said he switched up to Dewgong in the front with Annihilape and Bastiodon in the back. Now, I'm going to be showing you some of my gameplay using this team. I did use the Annihilape up front, and again, that Annihilape has close combat, which technically you get there 1 counter before you would get to a Shadow Ball. And that means most opponents really think you're going to be running Shadow Ball. So when you throw on 7, they're like, oh, that's just a Night Slash. But boom, all of a sudden close combat. So I'll be showing you my gameplay of this team that he used to hit legend just about a few days ago, probably 4 days ago. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into him. If you have not, though, click the like button and subscribe. All right, so again, I'm running Annihilape here in the front. And yeah, right away we're into the Deoxys matchup. Now, interesting enough, when this used to be like a Metacham, this was a pretty bad matchup. But to be fair, this matchup's actually pretty okay and actually where you want to be because obviously Bastiodon and Dewgong are going to be taking super effective damage. They still don't know that we're not necessarily running Shadow Ball at this point, so they go for a catch here. I go for a little bit more energy, and then it's like, do you want to throw the close combat? No. In fact, I want to get in Bastiodon into a matchup I know is good for the Bastiodon no matter what. So this is sort of the same type of view I have of any RPS Pokemon, such as I think I've said it for Lantern before as well. If you find that good matchup, most of the time you don't want to take the risk and keep it in the bag for an even better matchup. Just take the good matchup and roll with it. So we do come in after gaining a ton of energy on the Annihilape to the Bastiodon, and then I go for this major farm down. They do end up coming in with Deoxys. Now, I've built up, since I go for this massive farm down, I have so much energy left to go into this Deoxys that I'm able to get off these 2 Stone Edges, which is actually going to do a significant amount of damage to the Deoxys. We actually got 1 shield, then got it to half HP. I have all that energy on Annihilape. I go ahead and go for the double move here. They already switched before us. The Lickitung didn't die out. They did end up switching. So we know that they're locked in, and since they didn't get that first CMP on us, we're definitely going to get that second CMP no matter what. We get to the close combat. They top left out of this game. All right, bad lead there for Annihilape, but I'm going to come in with... wait, was it a bad lead? Yeah, Wigglytuff. Oh, yeah. So we save swap into Dewgong here. They come in for Alligator. I just throw the drill run right away. We're basically going to find out whether or not this Feraligatr has Crunch or not. Again, Feraligatr could run Ice Beam or Crunch as its secondary move, depending on what the team comp is really looking for. This one does seem to be running Ice Beam, if I was to guess, because they ended up throwing in the Hydro Cannon at us, which is a decent move, but it is resisted, whereas the Crunch wouldn't be resisted. I'm not even sure which one does more damage. Someone in the comments could let me know. Maybe Hydro Pump's just the way to go, even if you have Crunch, although I kind of doubt it. We do get the shield from them, which is fine. They are trying to maintain switch as much as they can. I'm probably going to let one of these go, but if they get to 2, I will shield. But yeah, we're going to have to shield here, I think. Trying to get enough energy to basically throw a close combat at the Wigglytuff at some point down the line. It won't be right now because we're not at it, and if we take a charm here, we're going to get screwed. So I switch right away. They end up having Goodra in the back, so ABA weak to Bastiodon here, which is okay for me. They do have Aqua Tail, which has been buffed this season again. I'm just now realizing it's a shiny Goodra, which is chef's kiss. And this is still a good matchup for us. I just need to see if I can get to this Stone Edge before they get to 2 Aqua Tails. Obviously, we can take 1 here, but I have a feeling we can actually live 2 here as well. And I'll go for the CMP. I'm just totally okay with this because I know that I'm going to be able to destroy the Wigglytuff with this Bastiodon no matter how much HP I have. And I will, in fact, live another Aqua Tail if they somehow had another one, which they definitely don't. The only thing about Wigglytuff here is I'm not sure. I think no matter what move they throw here, we would survive on Bastiodon. But you know what? They're probably going to try to go for the farm down here. I'm going to probably switch to Annihilape at some point and throw the Night Slash, which they're in range now. And like I said before, we knew we weren't up to that close combat, but they were low enough that the Night Slash is going to KO here. So, all right, Azumarill here in the front. It's not a great matchup at all. I try to go for a catch. This is fine. I have a ton of energy now on the Annihilape. The thing that really could save you here against the Azu matchup, well, one, if they stay in this long, that's great for us. But 2, because this is our best Azumarill matchup. Although most don't run Hydro Cannon, or Hydro Pump, rather. So Bastiodon's actually pretty good against the ones that don't. Because it resists Charm, or not Charm, it resists, holy moly, what is the fairy move? I can't remember it right now. Or Ice Beam as well, so... obviously they come in Bastiodon. We don't care too much about this move. We're going to try to go for a big farm down here. If they do get to 2 flamethrowers, we will have to... I think I count that they're going to get to 2, so I want to throw a move, and I might as well be trying to boost while I'm getting there. I do not get the boost, unluckily enough. But we have a lot of energy. They don't know that we don't have Shadow Ball, and Shadow Ball actually does a lot of damage to the Azumarill, so I'm hoping that they go for a shield here. If I remember right, this guy is a boss and doesn't shield. Yeah, that sucks for us. But I did look to see if I got the boost before switching out. I did not. So I'm going to come in Bastiodon. I end up eating this move. It's Play Rough, by the way. Play Rough's the name of the move. They end up coming in with a Shadow Venusaur, and I already am fully committed to this farm down. I'll double shield the Bastiodon here and try to go for the farm down. I should note that shield should be up at some point. Oh, I am going to try to take the shields here, actually. Just to, at the very least, get... basically not go past 100 energy. Try to be efficient still, while also trying to give my my Annihilape outs to the Azumarill as well. Hopefully this is the last move they get to for the Venusaur. I do end up going for the farm down. They do come in with the Azumarill. I go for the Stone Edge. Now is a question of, should I try to catch or should I try to switch and throw the Night Slash? They do have a shield still. If Bastiodon has any chance, it'll be a farm down. They're at another Ice Punch here. I do get the boost, which means they're only going to get one more bubble on this Azumarill in through onto my Bastiodon. And Bastiodon's a bulky mon. So I'm going to probably be able to get this farm down here. Yeah. I mean, we live with a sliver. I don't have like perfect IVs or anything, but that's pretty nice. Again, another Deoxys matchup. I just let them throw first. If they want to throw Psycho Boost, they can, because they're not going to stay in, and also the next one doesn't even KOs anyways. So I go up to 10 here. I mean, they're at the next Psycho Boost. We'll see if they end up shielding. They do end up shielding. You could technically double shield. It's not the worst if they're going to just stay in this matchup forever. Now I know I can just take another boost. Night Slash not going to KO from here, so we can just fully charge it up and get a farm down. Okay, we're not going to get a farm down unless we get the boost, which now it looks like we might get the farm down. I actually definitely think we get the farm down, right? Yeah, perfect farm down, actually. They just got to the move right there at the end on the last one. Unfortunately, means that they're going to come in with the Azumarill, and I'm probably not going to let... Well, Should I switch? Okay, we do end up switching here just in case we need this Annihilape, and it looks like we actually might need the Annihilape here because this thing is crazy good against Bastiodon. Luckily enough, I do have a decent amount of HP still on Annihilape. Looks like about 30%. The Azumarill has, I think, 3 bubbles and is around 60% still as well. We do go for the CMP here on this Icy Wind. This is great for us. Although it does mean that this Rock Slide not going to KO us. So they might they might be able to farm us down. Although Switch is probably up soon. So if I can preserve this Dewgong, I'll definitely want to do that. Not going to be able to get there though. So Switch is up for them as well. Something to note. They do come in with the Azumarill. I do throw this move just to get damage off. The Dunsparce in the back is super low, and really, it is kind of weird to see Dunsparce. I feel like 2 seasons ago, it was like, oh, Dunsparce is all the rage. It's pretty good against, it's decent against Walrein. It's good against Noctowl. It's got good coverage against all the other things. But this season, I mean, 2 seasons ago, everything has changed since then, right? Everything changed since Medicham got nerfed, and Medicham's the Fire Nation. So, looks like I didn't edit this down. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. Let's see. Actually, I could. There we go. All right, Dragonair. I mean, it's okay matchup here. Luckily, they switched before us. I do think I'm going to switch into this Bastiodon. Again, trying to get as much energy as I can before coming into this Cresselia matchup so that I do have Annihilape sort of on the path to success by having a huge energy advantage against anything else that's coming in. So this matchup's pretty much going to be a win for me no matter what. Obviously, Grass Knot does hurt over time, but I mean, we're super bulky, but they are super bulky as well. Something to really think about. But I really want that Dewgong aligned with the Dragonair if I can. Trying to think of what we think's going to be back here. I feel like it's going to be like Whiscash, maybe even Lantern. It does end up being the Poliwrath. I do end up just throwing this move just to get back to my clock. And then I really going to come in with Annihilape. We do have a huge energy advantage here. I think if I remember this game right, he also calls this one, which is wild. Man, just getting called on every move here. But to be fair, Dewgong is going to be good enough to take on the rest of these matches, or the rest of this matchup, even if, yeah. I guess he's going to come in with Dragonair, but we have a move now. But Dewgong is good against everything that's left, especially with his shield advantage, is what I was trying to say. So definitely just going to let this go. I can come in Bastiodon. We basically switched at similar times. I guess I did throw a move, so I'm going to come in with Dewgong, and they do have Giratina there in the back. All right, another Azumarill lead. So you kind of have to hope they think you're running Shadow Ball. I do end up trying to catch again, this time again. And this guy ends up staying as well as the last opponent. So the longer they stay in this matchup, the better. So that's all I'm really trying to wait for. I did, if you do see there, I did wait a turn to see if he was going to try to catch. He wasn't, so I did throw the drill run. Sometimes I'm good at this game. No, I'm obviously, I do think I'm pretty good at this game, but I'm not on like the Jason 2890 level. Nothing like that. No, I'm not Isaacson, I'm not Wadaj, but I try to be, so, and I'm trying to help you all be as well. So that's why we go through the replays here, and hopefully this helps helping someone out. If it is helping you out, like the video. Anyways, we're into this Quagsire matchup. Quagsire is an interesting choice. You don't see it too much, especially with the Whiscash being so good this last couple of seasons. I ended up going for the CMP here because they were able to farm us down. They don't throw right away, so great for me to save some energy. If you see, I was mass switching, and then I was like, oh, wait, we got the attack buff. Maybe I'll just stay in and try to retain this buff and try to get through this Azumarill, and just go with Night Slashes. Do I get a double boost here? I feel like I remember a game where I got a double boost. It was in this game. Damn. Although, I really wish I threw close combat here. This is too greedy. Okay, well, Bastiodon's going to have to be good in the back because this is quite bad for me. We'll see. They won't get to another move here on Azumarill, though. Oh, nice. Yeah, they were bad. Ninetales, okay, I throw one punch just to, I paused there because I was deciding if I was going to make a one punch man, but then I was like, no, don't do it. But I'm telling you about it anyways. I just wanted to see if it had a powder snow on the Alolan Ninetales, because if it did, I just wanted to stay in that match if I could. We do get energy thrown here, which is great for us, I think. They do have, I think, 4 counters worth of... I'm trying to remember this game. I think they still have 4 counters worth here. And then I'm trying to go for like this mass farm down, and then I just hope this is a Shadow Ball, and I hope that I shield correctly here, because if it's a Shadow Ball, we get a mass energy advantage here by trying to farm it down. Ends up being the Azumarill though, and then I'm just like, ugh, I don't really have a good answer to this. But if they had just random switched in, and I did, they're risking it all here, which is crazy. But I do end up going for 2 close combats. I'm trying to get the damage in before switching over to the Bastiodon. Now Bastiodon hopefully doesn't have too much to worry about, considering that it's been Azumarill and Annihilape, and Azumarill's okay, and Annihilape's obviously amazing. I do go for the shield, thinking that it could be a Hydro Pump, considering they went all the way up to max energy. The fact that they didn't throw a Hydro Pump here makes me think that they don't have a Hydro Pump, which is great for me. And then hopefully I'll go for a farm down here. We have to remember Switch is going to be up for them soon. They do come in with Annihilape, but it is so low that we are able to get it down with 2 Smackdowns. And this Azumarill has already... It's weird because Azumarill has already showed me it doesn't have Hydro Pump. So they must be super weak against Bastiodon here in the back. Oh, right. It was the Alolan Ninetales. So I think I go for a catch here on a... Good catch. And I think actually ends up being necessary if you see how low my Bastiodon ends up getting against this guy, because they still have a shield. I can't throw anything. Sometimes you got to catch against the Charmers, y'all. All right, Empoleon lead. They switch into a Dragon. I switch into Dewgong. Some say it could be a bad decision here, but they actually end up mistiming this pretty bad, so I end up going for just a full farm down. But they have Dragon Pulse as well. This is weird. I'm not low ranked either, guys. I promise you, these are 1650 plus battles, or 1650, 2650 battles plus. Yeah, an interesting lead, and then an interesting moveset on the swap. If you remember a while, I guess maybe 7 seasons ago at this point, Empoleon Dragon was a huge thing in Ultra League. Specifically, I think a lot of people were running Dragonite Empoleon, but obviously things have changed a bit. But Empoleon has gotten a lot better, so if anything, Empoleon should have more play than even the 7 seasons ago or whatever it is. They end up having Altaria. I tried to just go up to a close combat so that I can win CMP later against the Empoleon, which I assume I do, but I don't know. Just so I can have that one shot for later, since Bastiodon is just going to farm down the Altaria all the way down, basically. Again, against this, I'm going to go for a fake Shadow Ball here, hoping that they shield. They don't end up shielding. I do have to shield the first one no matter what. I actually have never seen one of these go for Thunderbolt. I've probably played against this matchup quite a few times. And as you see here, I'm actually learning, so you don't have to shield that second boost. I think I did get a boost here. But I still decide not to throw. This looks kind of like the previous team. I kind of forgot what their third was at this point. Doesn't matter, though. I'm going to go for the big Basti. Going to have to throw 1 Stone Edge and then farm down, hopefully. So that's what I'm going to go for here. I made sure that I have energy on the Annihilate before coming back in with the... before they come back in with the Deoxys. And yeah, so this matchup's just going to take a long time because I want to go for that max energy. Again, I also actually wait towards the end of my timer to throw this move because I know that their switch is up a little before mine, and I want to maybe try to get to that switch to be even on both sides rather than me being a little bit down on the switch. But most of the time, that kind of thing doesn't really matter. They kind of want to go for this extra farm down here with Deoxys. I end up switching, and... good on this guy. He ended up switching as well, which leaves me in actually a really bad position. I end up going for a Night Slash here because I figure I can actually get to another close combat later, so maybe I can try to boost and then hit him with close combat. And I still went up to the Shadow Ball. This guy never shielded, but I mean, to be fair, even though all of this is resisted, we are doing a decent amount of damage. This is Azumarill, they're down to 40%. I could come in Basti here and sort of eat the energy, or I could come in Dewgong and maybe shield. We're not one away from getting hurt. We're not one charge attack away from getting KO'd, basically, is what I'm saying, from the Deoxys. But this shield is a little sus because they do have Thunderbolt, and we are now in Thunderbolt range, although they don't have the energy here to even make it to a Thunderbolt before we get to 2 drill runs. So just going to go for the drill runs. If this lives, I'll just switch out right away and hope that Smackdown KOs. But we end up taking it out. The only thing is, we outpace, and we win CMP, I think. So GG here to our opponent. Can't believe they caught on the Azumarill, which really put us in a horrific position with Annihilape. So another Azumarill lead. Again, these aren't great, but that's why I'm trying to show the bad matchups here, just to try to show you what I do through them. And I actually thought he was going to go up more, so I wanted to switch in on the Dewgong, which I've been trying to do, basically trying to catch on the Dewgong. But no one's been throwing right away, so I've been holding. I decided to hold back on this one, and then they didn't end up throwing. Or they ended up throwing at a weird time that I wasn't ready for. So sometimes they do it at the time you want, sometimes they don't. I try to catch, and what do you know? It's the first time I make a catch on a Azumarill. That's great for us, to be honest. I do have to be a little sus of them trying to catch. I don't wait a turn, though. It's very greedy of me to just throw right away. But, they're trying to stay in this matchup. Let's go ahead and get it lower. They do come in with a Sableye, not a mon I've seen very much recently. But hopefully with this Icy Wind, I can maybe make it to another Icy Wind through a foul play. We're just going to hope I survive. If I don't, I'll just farm this down with Bastiodon. No problem. Do I make it? I do make it. And I do think this will KO. And we'll see where we're at. I don't think they'll shield this. We'll see if they come in with the Azumarill. Nope, they come in with Skeledirge. And now I decide to come in with Annihilape, because while this matchup's not great, I at least have some super effective damage here. And I'm kind of all in on Bastiodon already. I'm just going to give this Annihilape away for free, basically. And I don't think I can make it to another move here, so I decide I'm going to switch in. And then I make the call that since it had Play Rough, well, it's still 50-50. I just assume the Azumarill doesn't have Hydro Pump. So I'm using my shield here. Call it a bad move or not. The Azumarill is also really low. It's going to get farmed down, I think, even by our Annihilape that's left over. So I think the move's a good idea here, or good planning, I think, on my side. Even if he were to KO us right now, he's super low. We'll get to the Night Slash, which will KO it. But it ended up only having Ice Beam anyways, so we go for the farm down, and that's GG. Insanely good lead, and then a good swap in here. So sometimes, I know I said at the beginning of the video, we can go for the Bastiodon here, but I just believe Bastiodon's going to have some play here in the back. And now that we've already reduced it, I don't care too much about this Moonblast coming in. All right, and then I think I could have gotten the farm down. I got scared, and now I could still throw a drill run into this. It's not going to farm me down before I get to a drill run, I believe. So, we're going to do some super effective damage here. The only thing is, I'm going to be kind of priced in to shield my Annihilape because we're up 2 shields, so I feel like 1 shield's worth it here. Just to maybe try to see what's there in the back. Ends up being an Azumarill. I come in with Bastiodon. We're just going to fight this straight up. I'm probably not going to shield. 1 Hydro Pump, not going to KO me anyways. They do throw on Hydro Pump here. And it is a Hydro Pump. I actually did not remember that. It's still going to take 2 Hydro Pumps to KO Bastiodon, which is insane. Bastiodon just so bulky. Obviously, we don't do that much damage to the Azumarill anyways. But they've already shown that they win CMP. So now I have to make a decision on whether or not I want to keep the Annihilape or keep the shield or not. And they end up going for the Play Rough. Great. I guess they thought they had to bait. I'm just going to switch right away because it feels like they're about to switch. Plus, I didn't want them to necessarily farm down my Bastiodon there, even though it would only really be 1 more bubble, I think. There's another Azumarill down. Gligar. Okay, so Gligar feels like the worst match up with Annihilape in the front. If I was to ask Jason anything, it would be, what do you do against the Annihilape lead? So you don't have Ice Punch on or against the Gligar lead. You don't have Ice Punch on Gligar. You can't really switch into Basti. Basti gets 2-shot by the digs. And even if they just want to go 1 dig and swap to keep that Annihilape advantage, that still does like 70% to Bastiodon. It's crazy, the Shadow Gligar damage. But yeah, the only thing I could think of, and the only thing I ever tried, was hard swapping into Dewgong. Even winning switch here is not worth anything. Plus, this doesn't KO anyways, so you just farm down. I do come in with the Annihilape, and now it's kind of like, I have the Dewgong for later. Let's do as much damage as I can with this with Annihilape, because I at least have this switch for now. I can shield once to elongate the clock. And now I'll definitely shield because I think I can double shield farm down. Or I thought that's what I would have done. Interesting. Well, now I have to come in Basti and just farm down, I think. And they do have a Skarmory. So this is a... Well, in the 2 shield, this is kind of sketch. But we still have Dewgong. And Dewgong does have a move. So we have to remember that Icy Wind we have ready. Another thing just to note here, since this is going to take forever and we can just talk about it, is definitely go Flamethrower. Flamethrower is super effective against the Steel typing of Skarmory. Whereas Stone Edge, while being super effective against the flying type of Skarmory, is resisted by this Steel type. So it ends up just being neutral. So Flamethrower at least is super effective, so that's nice. I decided not to shield the first few ones because they have to be Sky attacks, otherwise this guy's getting crushed. And then I come in with Dewgong just to try to get that extra damage or the shield, trying to gain this advantage through something here. And then we have 2 shields, and now this is so low that even if it were to throw, we have to shield this. And even if they throw a Brave Bird on the next one, they're going to take this Smackdown right here, which is going to come through no matter what, and that would KO it. Swampert, obviously we want this kind of on Dewgong, but it's okay here against the Annihilape. I do go up to... I think I went up to 8 here, which is the Shadow Ball. They end up shielding. We do win CMP, which is good to know. They're almost for sure not going to throw the Earthquake, but why even press them? It's also good to know that you win the CMP because it means you can always throw when they're about to throw, and then take away that energy. I do actually try to catch here on the Dewgong, but we don't get there, and I don't think this this cross chop's gonna KO us, so I decide not to shield. It actually does, which is wild. Probably can't go for the Night Slash, although you resist everything Machamp can do here. Probably there's a Rock Slide, which is resisted by our fighting type. And then I guess I would shield against the Swampert if it does come in, which means we would be able to farm it down, and then hopefully throw this energy into the next thing. Instead of throwing right away and not knowing what they're going to come in with and maybe missing out on a CMP, I go for the safe play, but I lose a shield for it. Unfortunately, I did try to look at the typing of what this was. I think it ends up being a Haunter, which means I threw 1 counter, and that means I'm going to get KO'd instantly by that. But it's okay. We have Bastiodon against this, and we'll just be able to farm this down. I mean, Haunter does a lot of damage. I mean, I guess we're not going to be able to farm it down, but I'm so close to I'm 1 away from the move, and that'll KO. Haunter does a lot of damage, y'all. But also it takes a lot of damage, so... fair play to both sides here, I guess. As fair as Bastiodon can get, at least. Superior, this is a weird one. I haven't seen Superior in a long while. They actually go for the CMP here. Super good play by our opponent here, because now we're just priced into shielding. I guess we were going to shield no matter what on an Aerial Ace, but now they have a little bit more energy. This is definitely going to throw a... Frenzy Plant into us, but I'm gonna let Dewgong go. It actually does a lot more than I thought it would. They come in for Alligator. Luckily I see that in time. I just throw the Drill Run, but they're gonna get the farm down here, and for Alligator is not great for us on either side. I guess I'll try to go for like a farm down and a shield probably on the Annihilape. They are kind of out of energy on Superior, so yeah, I feel like I either lost count or I needed to throw this, and I didn't know who won CMP here. I assumed it was Annihilape, but then I got too scared and just did whatever here. If they do come in the Superior, we have to just throw whatever. I just going to get to a move and then come in with this against the Mantine. The worst case scenario for us is it has Water Pulse. The best case scenario is it doesn't. And those two scenarios are extremely far apart from each other, because if it has the Water Pulse, it has something super effective against us. If it doesn't, we resist everything it does and we just auto win. So big difference in what's happening here. And we're probably going to get double Frenzy Planet here as well. So if they do have the Water Pulse, probably we're going to lose because we don't have the Shadow Ball. And I imagine that a Water Pulse KOs from here. Now's the moment of truth, though. Ice Beam. It's the Ice Beam, and that is a win for us for sure. They definitely left the game right there. You saw the little thing in the bottom there. All right, another Empoleon lead. Really good for us. Kingdra, and I didn't know what to do, and I think this was actually a mistake. I think in a Kingdra safe swap, although it's been 2 waters so far, and it might be a 3rd water, in which case I don't want Bastiodon in the back. But I do remember thinking at the time this was a mistake coming into Bastiodon. I just remember thinking, I don't know what to do against the Kingdra safe swap, because it's going to do super effective, or it's going to do neutral damage to the Dewgong. But it's going to Octazooka this Bastiodon, and the Bastiodon is now 4 times attack debuffed. And now it's like a question of, do I throw these flamethrowers? Do I just stay in here and get farmed down, which would be insane? So I think I have to get out of here and I decide to go into the Dewgong because it at least has neutral play against this Empoleon. Plus, I assume what they have in the back is going to be super effective against... So it could be like a Mantine if they're going triple water, and I definitely don't want my Annihilape against something in the back that's going to be good against it. Which again, if you're making a good comp, I imagine you're not going to be weak against Annihilape in the front and the back. But a good ABB comp, I should say. There are a lot of good comps that are different styles. All right, we're just trying to land drill runs. They're super effective. They had 2 shields. We got them both. But now we're in danger of getting farmed down, which sucks. So this is really bad because... Wait, was this CMP? Okay, well, that's good to know. It was really bad because they do have Drill Peck, which is going to be super effective, and they end up having Gligar in the back. Okay, so I throw this, and then I'm probably going to swap to Bastiodon, maybe? Oh, actually, I got the attack raise, which means the next Night Slash will KO. Well, that's lucky. What can you say? I probably lose that game without that. So I think I had 3 Night Slash buffs during that, so pretty lucky, although that was like 15 games right there, or I forget how many games was in that set. But yeah, so again, Jason2890 actually does stream and have a YouTube channel, although he doesn't really post that much of Pokemon Go anymore. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't, sometimes he streams it, sometimes he doesn't. I know he's actually like a record holder for speed runs in Cuphead, and that's kind of what he streams the most of nowadays. And I've seen on his YouTube channel that's what he posts the most of, and people love it because he's literally a record holder. So it's not even just this game he's good at; he's good at every game. Maybe he's good at seeing the patterns, and that's why he sticks with one team and just does the exact same thing every time. There's something there. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thank you for watching the video, and if you want to continue to support me, definitely click that subscribe button. You'll see any content coming out, and if you want another video on this same league for some more tips and tricks to other teams, check that video out right there, and I'll see you in the next one.